everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. This week we've been driving the 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe. I've been so excited to spend time with this car. I've always loved Jeep, I've always loved the Wrangler, and I've always loved electric vehicles, so combining them all together like this makes for a really unique product. I assume a lot of you watching are interested in getting the Jeep 4xe specifically. I mean, there's plenty of videos on the Wrangler in general. In fact, we had a diesel last year, and we liked that one as well. But you're probably interested in what's this like to have as a part-time electric vehicle with the plug-in hybrid system. And we've done testing. We tested the range. We tested the highway fuel economy. We got 21 miles of mixed driving on EV only, which is right about what the EPA suspects you'll get. And then we got about 21 miles per gallon at 70 miles per hour running in only hybrid mode, which is just above what the EPA expects you'd get as well. Now, I am an electric vehicle owner. We've got a Tesla Model Y at home, so it's cool to kind of compare what having this is like compared to having a full EV. And as you can clearly see, this thing is entirely capable of being a full-time electric off-road vehicle as well. We've gotten it so muddy. On the live drive, we were thrashing this thing, doing some amazing crawling, and these KO2s do an amazing job in both the mud and the dirt and everything off-road, and this thing is just so much fun. So let's get right behind the wheel. At the end of the day, it's a four-door Jeep Wrangler, so you've got some room in the back, you've got room in the second row. Check out our other videos or other people's videos for kind of more of an in-depth review on that regard. But I want to talk about this as an electric vehicle and what it provides from the driving perspective. So this is a plug-in hybrid. It's got a 17 kilowatt hour battery pack on board. Charge it up overnight with either a standard wall plug or a 240 volt charger. With our 240, it only takes a few hours to charge all the way up from nothing, but you're going to need about 14 or 15 hours on a standard wall plug to charge it up, which I still think is kind of cool, because if you're someone who doesn't own an electric vehicle already and you've just got standard wall plugs in your garage, then you can still use this and you can still get a full charge even after driving it around for a day. Let's start right off here by thrashing it through some of these puddles. And this is what makes owning a Wrangler, especially a Rubicon, so much fun, is doing things like this. Ugh. I mean, ultimately, if you're gonna spend the money to get a Rubicon package with these big off-road tires, a little bit of extra lift and stuff, you should be doing things like this with your Jeep. You should be taking it off-road, and you should be kind of pushing it to the limit every now and then. I mean, realistically, it's very difficult to get to the limit of a Wrangler. At the end of the day, this is still the most capable off-road vehicle you can buy off a showroom floor with a warranty these days. But to even at least be somewhat flexing its off-road abilities, you're just doing yourself a disservice to get the Rubicon and not be doing something like that, at least every now and again. But at the least, you can take it on some dirt roads like this, take it on some two tracks, whatever sort of lifestyle you're living, and then pull right back onto the road. And this electric powertrain paired with the 2-liter turbo really pulls. It's pretty quick. Motivates this vehicle plenty fine. I'm actually pretty impressed by the 2-liter turbocharged engine in this car. But if you click down here into electric mode, then it'll prioritize using the battery before kicking on the motor. Now, that being said, if you floor it, it's still going to kick on the engine to help give you power, because this is about the most I can accelerate on battery only. Not exactly a speed demon, but it still gets up to speed fine. You can do your daily driving, but if you were in an emergency type situation, really needed to get it, you floor it, and the engine comes online, you get full power. I've liked driving this thing as an electric vehicle. It's not exactly like having a full EV. You don't have that instant power and the instant grunt that you do with a full electric vehicle. But being able to go off-roading, do trails, and do it in silence has been really neat. The other thing that I think is really cool about the Wrangler 4xe is the fact that you don't make any compromises for having a partial electric vehicle but you don't lose any of the Jeepness of it. It's still 100% a Wrangler. It still has all that usability. It still has the cool factor. It's just a little bit more efficient, and depending on how you use it, a lot more efficient, because you can do so much of your driving with battery only. I mean, if you have a 5-10 mile commute, there's most of your day's driving right there, all on electric. You power your heated seats, your heated steering wheel, your climate, all with the battery. And right now, just trundling along, 55 miles per hour, rip to the Broncos that are stuck in Bronco jail, and just doing it on battery only. I don't think I'd get the Rubicon package. I just realistically would not use it enough. I mean, obviously, yeah, for these sort of test videos, I'm running it on a little bit of an off-road section. We might take it up to an off-road course at some point later this week. But for me, something like a Sahara, more of a street-oriented model, would do me much better. Yeah, it might not look quite as cool because it's not quite as lifted up and everything, but I just know myself. For me, form follows function, so I'd get a Sahara or one of those more street-oriented models. But then I'd have a pretty cool vehicle, daily driver type car, that you can just hit this button with the Sunrider top, and your top opens up, and you get exposed to the elements, get kind of that convertible sense and feel. If I own the car, I would definitely take the doors off for summer type driving. You'd feel cool. The Wrangler is one of those few cars on the market that just has so much character baked into it. In the way it drives and in the things you can do with it and to it, customize it, all these things. The Wrangler is an icon, and it's still pretty cool for that. I always love driving a Wrangler, regardless of powertrain, regardless of spec or build. I like the Wrangler. And the 4xe model just adds to its daily usability. If you're going to drive one for many, many miles on the highway, which I do not recommend doing because this thing's loud as heck and wanders on the highway, there's a ton of play in the steering. But if you are going to do that, I'd recommend the EcoDiesel. That engine gets pretty good fuel economy, and it's more refined when you're just cruising on the highway. But if you're going to just use it for a daily commuter type vehicle, I highly, highly recommend stepping up to the 4xe. And if money is no object, you've got that 392 version as well, which is one of the most fun vehicles I've driven in all of 2021. We're going to have it for a longer review later on this year, but I got a sneak peek of it earlier, about a month ago, and it's just so cool. Very expensive, but very, very cool. So the Wrangler 4xe is a go from me. It's just a cool car. You have to be the right type of person for it. It's not for everyone, but I challenge you to drive it and not have a smile on your face. And at the end of the day, that's what's really important about having a cool vehicle in your household, is, does it put a smile on your face? So not the most refined, not the most efficient, not the best in a lot of ways, but a vehicle with character like this is a good vehicle for me. Ugh. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Wrangler 4xe, like I said, we've got that range test. We did a little sound system test as well, again, on the 9-speaker Alpine system. And we've got some fun live drive coverage that I'll post as well. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.